During the 7th century BC, the ancient Greek city-state of Athens was experiencing a time of great social and political unrest. Determined to save Athens from ruin, the city's council of aristocrats appointed an oppressive lawmaker named Draco to rewrite their entire legal system. Draco's constitution led to the brutal execution of countless Athenian citizens. His laws and punishments were so harsh that his name has become synonymous with mercilessness and cruelty. Draco belonged to a prominent Athenian family and was rumored to have been related to King Codrus, the final king of Athens 4 centuries earlier. Athens was growing dramatically in size and had developed into a major political and commercial hub on the Aegean Sea. By this period, Athens had moved away from being ruled by kings. Instead, it was largely controlled by a council of aristocrats called the Areopagus. The council met on a large outcrop overlooking the city of Athens, called the Hill of Ares. The hill was named after the Greek god of war and was the alleged location where Ares was put on trial by other gods for the murder of Poseidon's son. The unwritten laws at the time were poorly conveyed to the majority of citizens and were regularly altered to suit the interests of the upper class. Judges routinely showed favoritism toward the wealthy, and this exploitative system created great unrest within Athenian society. The issue became so great that the governing aristocratic families of Athens finally decided to abandon their secretive legal system and promulgate the laws in writing to the public, enabling every Athenian citizen to understand the legal process. The Areopagus appointed an aristocratic legislator named Draco to create the new written code of laws. It is unclear why Draco was chosen for this task, though he may have been a member of the Areopagus himself. After 3 years of planning and deliberating, Draco introduced the first written constitution in Athenian history, known as the Draconian Constitution, in 621 BC. Plutarch wrote of Draco's laws that one penalty was assigned to almost all transgressions, namely death, so that even those convicted of idleness were put to death, and those who stole salad or fruit received the same punishment as those who committed sacrilege or murder. Unfortunately, any written text of the Constitution has not survived, and historians are uncertain if death was truly the punishment for most crimes, or if Draco's character was maligned for unknown reasons. Draco also introduced a new Athenian governing body called the Council of 400, consisting of elected officials who would govern Athens alongside the Areopagus. The elected officials generally consisted of oligarchs tasked with maintaining peace within Athens. While Draco has been vilified for his excessive brutality, his political reforms were an important step in the development of Athenian democracy. However, the political and social unrest in Athens, which had led to the initial solicitation of Draco by the Areopagus, only continued and intensified in the following years. In response to these reforms, the lawmaker himself appears to have been run out of Athens, spending the remainder of his years in exile on the neighboring island of Aegina. As a result, in the 590s BC, a new Athenian lawmaker by the name of Solon was asked to replace Draco's controversial constitution. Solon's reforms repealed many of Draco's harsher measures, especially those related to his over-enthusiastic use of the death penalty. However, Solon expanded upon Draco's voting reform to include every man in Athens. In the centuries that followed, Draco became an object of severe criticism, while Solon was revered as the founder of the city's greatness. For instance, by the 4th century BC, Draco's notoriety had already been cemented when a well-known Athenian orator and demagogue of the time, Demades, exclaimed in front of a crowd that Draco's laws were written not with ink, but blood. According to Plutarch, when asked why he assigned the death penalty to most offences, Draco replied that in his opinion, the lesser ones deserved it, and for the greater ones, no heavier penalty could be found. Despite the protests from the poor and indebted, much of the Athenian upper class supported Draco's relentless laws. Sometime around 600 BC, during a visit to a theatre in Aegina, a group of wealthy aristocratic supporters barraged Draco with cloaks in a show of support, and he suffocated to death under the weight of the clothing. Through great severity and cruelty, Draco crafted the first known written constitution in history and laid the groundwork for Athenian democracy. Consider liking, commenting, subscribing, and clicking the bell icon below for more videos like this.